The gasoline crisis continues in the UK, with thousands of filling stations running out of fuel on the weekend. The government is asking motorists to stop panic buying and says there's no current plan to use the army to drive tankers. Here's NTD's Joy Dogood with the story.
Thousands of petrol stations ran dry over the weekend. Environment Secretary George Eustace calls on drivers to stop panic buying.
Petrol, both in refineries, output is at normal levels, and we have plenty of petrol in stores. And the most important thing is that people just buy petrol as they normally would. There isn't a shortage. The cause of these current problems is that panic buying episode.
Eustace denies that Brexit played a part in the crisis.
Certainly, I think the biggest factor in all of this has been COVID. We're seeing it around the world, disruption to supply chains, shortages of labour, quite a bit of turbulence actually as the whole world comes out of this pandemic.
He says the government has no current plans to use the army to drive petrol tankers.
But we always have a civil contingencies section within the army that's always on standby should they be needed, but we don't judge that's necessary at the moment.
Industry leaders warn drafting in the army will not end the fuel crisis, but the Environment Secretary confirms the Ministry of Defence is helping resolve the HGV driver shortage.
We are bringing MOD trainers in to accelerate some of the HGV training. To clear a backlog of people who want to carry out those tests.
Long queues at petrol stations continue. In London, drivers express their frustration at not being able to fill their tanks.
It's ridiculous, you know. I've just turned up, going to work normally, got 20 miles of fuel left because can't get any in Milton Keynes where I actually live. Come down here, you've just got to get in the queue now, haven't you?
I need fuel. I was meant to be at work at 8 o'clock. Look what time it is right now. It's terrible. I tried to come here last night, same thing. Went to 3 different petrol stations, all closed.
Over the weekend, the government suspended competition laws to allow the industry to share information. Oil companies can then target areas where fuel supply is running low. The government is also creating 5,000 3-month visas for foreign lorry drivers in an attempt to ease the driver shortage. Joy Dogood, NTD News.